It's the Sittin Sportside Podcast, exclusively on 1045theteam.com.
It is the Sittin Sportside Podcast on 1045theteam.com. I'm Eric Hanneman, along with Mike James, and we're super excited to do the first ever Sittin Sportside Podcast, movie discussion podcast on 1045theteam.com. Mike, are you pumped for this?
I am pumped.
You know, that song actually reminds me of a different movie we're not even going to talk about. That song reminds me of the Transformer movies. We both saw Bumblebee. Maybe we'll touch on that at the end.
Should.
That'll be our post-credits scene of this podcast. But this one is all about the movie Glass. If you have missed some of our other podcasts where we talk about our experience behind this movie, let's first talk about how when we first started the Sittin Sportside Podcast, Mike, it was me, you, and a kid named Matt Hogan.
On Twitter as Hogan.
Is he still Hogan? Great Twitter name. Right, he's probably one of our most. We look back fondly, I'll say, on our time when he was a part of the Sittin Sportside Podcast. And I think he's forever part of it. Let's be honest here.
I miss him.
We were going to try to get him on this. We thought about this like last second. I don't think we were going to get him on, but maybe in a future podcast we'll have Matt Hogan on. Anyway, I digress. We did a promo though for our stream here at 105 The Team. You can listen to that on the free 1045 The Team app.
Hoagie, by the way.
Yes. You can listen to the stream. We did, for the stream, they want, we can't always run the same little inside baseball here. Is this too inside baseball, Mike? Little inside baseball is like the same paid spots for the radio don't always work for the online stream. So they want, some promos from us and the Sittin Sportside Podcast are on there on the free 1045 The Team app. We recorded a promo where we talked about had we seen Split. Now, at the time, I actually hadn't seen it yet. It was just you and Hogan that I saw it. And it was a great discussion between you two. And it forever connected the Sittin Sportside crew.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Glass was kind of rushed. I don't want to say rushed, but it was definitely happened very quickly.
Well, there was how many years
Split.
between Unbreakable and
Unbreakable was like 2000 and Split was 2016.
Yeah.
And then early 2019 was Glass. It was like almost like right away they made it. It's almost like Avatar being in whatever year that was. Now they're going to have 4 of them in a row. Not to digress about that, but we came out of Glass with 2 different points of view. And I'm going to probably tear you apart on one reason as possible. I'll ask you. I'll ask you. There's something that I suspect about you that I think I would take apart. But you fall on the majority side. I think the majority of not only, and we're talking Rotten Tomatoes here, not to give a free promo to them, but majority of the people that saw this movie were critics, people on Rotten Tomatoes who were just users. Didn't seem to love the movie. I'm gonna let you go first, and I'll tell you why. And afterwards, I'll tell you why I actually really, really liked it.
I just expected more, and I don't know. I expected so much more of it. The previews made it look amazing, and then I went in there, and I was like, after like 20 minutes, I was like, did I really just spend money on this? Like, I was disappointed, highly disappointed.
So obviously, this is going to be a spoiler-filled podcast. So if you haven't seen Glass, Split, or Unbreakable, don't keep listening. But if you haven't and you don't give a gosh darn and still want to hear this podcast, keep listening. Please. What part of the movie? So when they get captured by they get put in the loony bin. That you're asleep by that part.
All right, I made it through that part, so it might have been a little long. But it is. I think it was somewhere between the time they got captured and the time they were fighting off the people that I was like.
Mm-hmm. It's a common thing. I read a lot of comments, like I said, on that site that I mentioned earlier, and a lot of people did say that. But you know what? I think people that were saying that are people. Before I can tell you why I like the movie. I really think that a lot of negative feedback, including from critics, come from people who did not see Unbreakable and who maybe even did not see Split.
I love Split. I thought it was one of the.
And have you seen Unbreakable?
I have not. My defense, I wanted to see it beforehand. I didn't get a chance. And my fiance, Rochelle Bennett, love you, babe, if you listen to this. We never got a chance to watch it beforehand. I wanted to.
I'm shaking my head right now, guys. How important was it to that movie? And if you stayed here listening to this, not having seen any of the movies, maybe you just saw Unbreakable and haven't seen Glass yet, but you're still listening. A huge part of Glass. Unbreakable is such a big part of Glass that they use clips from Unbreakable in Glass. So you don't even understand. First off, seeing that kid, out of a child, I'm not even sure the guy's name, but seeing that child actor after how many years when he probably hasn't been in anything, priceless. I mean, that was huge to see him. I'm like, oh, that kid still acts. And his relationship with his son in the first movie, and Bruce Willis's character, David Dunn, is so essential to that movie. Then it brings something to the sequel that they use with Elijah, a.k.a. Samuel Jackson's character's mother, and then the girl from Split.
Yeah.
Hers, to me, is less powerful. I mean, I get the good news from her. The most powerful relationship of the three, because they become a big part of the movie, those three I just mentioned. The most important relationship, though, out of all of them, is David Dunn, Bruce Willis's character, and his son from Unbreakable. And that's because of Unbreakable and how great that is portrayed in that movie.
Okay. Okay.
Now, what do you think of the twist? Do you think the twists were too much? You know, M. Night is obviously known for all his twists. Sixth Sense, even Unbreakable to some extent, among other twisty movies because he twists it left and right. I'll go through a couple of these twists. First twist, Kevin Crumb, whose dad never came back, being on the same train as Bruce Willis's character from Unbreakable. Good twist, bad twist, you don't care.
Interesting.
It was one of those things at the time. This is when I saw that twist, or when I found out, I'm like, oh, dang. Like, that was a great job. I was like an oh, dang twist. But then I was like, it's kind of predictable afterwards. Like, thinking about it, like, oh, of course. I mean, like, why didn't I think of that? But I still think it was a good twist. Now, you have nothing else on that? Hold
on.
You don't care? Are you getting Hogan to call into this?
I'm texting him right now. I texted him. I was like, "You want to talk?" I was like, "Did you see Glass?" He's like, "Yeah, why?" I was like, "I'm talking about this on the podcast." He's like, "What?" I was like, "Right now." He's like, "Wow, there's no way I can get there." I was like, "Call us." And
you can even come in the studio anymore. I mean,
hold on.
Even more inside baseball. We're going so inside baseball on this podcast. Not even talking baseball.
Open the phone lines.
Oh, he's calling in to 518-476-1045. Why did I just give up the number? Is he really calling in? That's crazy. We're going to have a Bryce Zelinsky grandmother moment. But yeah.
That means we might have to change the intro to the original intro.
Okay, Mike. We're already here, okay? You're totally not engaged in the podcast. This is getting nuts. We haven't talked to this kid in a long time, so now I'm getting a little nervous talking to Matt Hogan if he really calls in. But what'd you think of that twist, though? Real quick, I mean, we're still filling time, unless we want to cut this stuff out.
I just think it was interesting. I mean...
So, okay, I guess we can wait if we're really going to get a call up here, but let's talk about the big twist. Like, the biggest part of the movie is when you find out, even though the main character, Sarah Paulson's character, is trying to convince them that they're not superheroes, that her job is to convince them they're not superheroes. What about when you find out that this is a woman who is like a secret organization in the United States of America to suppress these people? And they actually all die in the end. Oh, sorry, spoiler alert if you didn't.
That was the craziest. I literally went, what? I was like, I went, huh? I was just like.
That is the depth of a superhero movie you won't get in a Marvel movie, a DC movie, or any other superhero type movie. That is something that is just, you never. When's the last time you saw a superhero movie where the three-man characters die? Never.
I was gonna say, I got nothing.
Okay, and that's a big time power move. There was just so much emotion. When Kevin finally comes out to Anya Taylor-Joy's character, Kevin Wendell Crumb. Like that moment is actually a really cool moment.
Yeah.
And then overall, you didn't see Unbreakable either, but in Unbreakable, Elijah's character, Elijah Price, Samuel L. Jackson character. Do I have to keep saying that? Whose character it is? At this point, you'll know those characters by name. But the whole point of his character, Mike, in the first movie, is he wants to realize he has a purpose in the world. He grew up where his bones break on any little bit of force. So he felt in his entire life, basically, of why do I have this purpose? Then his mom introduces him to comics, and he finds out, like, this is kind of similar to me. Like, I'm similar to the arch villain type. And meanwhile, he spends his entire life, and if you haven't, I'm sorry, you haven't seen Unbreakable, right?
No.
So
probably not going to watch it either.
All right, you're probably not going to watch it. So that entire movie,
point, why watch it?
The entire movie, he has this great relationship with David because David is found, realizing in his life like he's never really gotten injured, and he's always been fine. And he survives a train crash where everyone else dies. And he finally gets David to realize, like, you're the hero and I'm the villain. Like, because someone like you exists who can't be broken, whose bones don't break, who have superhuman strength that can bend steel.
Yeah.
And
that was insane.
You knock into somebody and you can see these things. Like, that's a superhuman ability. So when Elijah figures that out in Unbreakable, he realizes that he's not a mistake, that he really is supposed to be in this world. And that since there's the David Dunn character, that he actually exists for a reason. That gets even more placed to the max when he wants to prove to the world that he wasn't a mistake. And he totally beats Sarah Paulson. I don't even know her character's name. Her name was like Ellie something.
I think so.
That beat her at her own game. The mastermind always gets his job done. And I remember when she's in the comic store, she hears that.
Mm-hmm.
A little corny that she'd be in a comic book store. I don't know why she'd be in a comic book store. When she hears that, that the plan of the... So basically, at the end of the day, the evil villain, Elijah Price, got the job done because he got the video of all that stuff that they were trying to prevent from getting out into the world. That everybody now knows. Like, they win in the end. Even though they all die, at least Elijah's character wins in the end. He's not a mistake, and the world knows about it. I just feel like there's a lot of depth to that movie that comes from Unbreakable, and I think a lot of people who commented on it, including yourself, who probably were a little bit kind of like during the movie, I think a lot of them were put off because they hadn't seen Unbreakable, or maybe they've probably seen Split, but haven't seen Unbreakable. And now we're joined by Matt Hogan. Is this
Hogan?
Well, hey, how are you?
What's up, buddy, old pal?
What's going on, guys? How you guys doing?
I'm doing great. I think Mike's doing good too. But Mike did not like Glass, and I'm really nervous to hear your opinion on it, Matt. Because
no, so here's the problem.
Okay.
I went to the movie. I saw it with like 6 other people. We had a huge group because we were huge Unbreakable fans. Liked the movie Split. 4 of the 6 did not like Glass. I loved it.
Thank you.
I thought everything about it.
Yes.
It brought back the old school storytelling, the old school, like, just the overall essence of trying to, like, figure out what's going on and then just being blindsided by that at the end.
Exactly. I was telling Mike that this was really more, and I know a lot of people love Split, so maybe if M. Night was trying to please the masses, he would have maybe made it more like Split. This one that really came full circle with Unbreakable and, like, more of Bruce Willis's character, David Dunn. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It told everybody's story and capped it off with just an open-ended story that's going to, who knows, he might carry that on and make the whole entire franchise if he wanted to.
Right, because now people know they exist. And then, and even more with Unbreakable, that Elijah Price, now, like, he wanted to prove to people that he wasn't a mistake, and he did that in some capacity in the first movie by proving it to himself with, crashing the plane, crash the plane, the train.
The train,
the
plane.
building. Like, he did all those things to prove to himself he wasn't a mistake. And then on top of that, he, did what an evil mastermind would do and manipulate it so that he figured out what was going on in a way, and he streamed it to the entire world.
You know what's cool, too, is they brought, like, the underdog story for Glass's side, or not Glass's side, for Unbreakable. You know how, like, he was not an underdog. Like, he was a football star.
Right.
He made up the injury to do that. Very modest. Glass was the opposite. Like, he was underdog, but, like, he had this background where you would think, like, he would just give up. And all of a sudden, this dude is, like, unfortunately, he does it for wrong. God, Mike, is Mike there right now?
Yeah, Mike is here.
I'm here.
Mike, what did you not like about this movie?
I don't know. I fell asleep through, like, the middle portion of the movie.
Mike, I'm going to ask you a question, and it kind of, I'm a big movie nerd.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you like, I know it's opposite, but did you like the movie Justice League?
I never actually saw that. Believe it or not.
All right, because I'm trying to get on the spectrum of where you are in the movie goers. Like, what do you like? Do you just like pure action? If it's not action, are you out?
He liked Bumblebee.
I'm more action comedy.
Like a Transformer movie?
Yeah.
Oh my God, those movies need to die. After the second one, everything else was awful. There's no storytelling. It's 3 hours of a random model who's super attractive being in the movie.
That's true, but
awesome.
There was a
what's wrong with 3 hours of hot models?
There was a different director for this one, Hogan, and actually this one was more kind of had a better story than any of the other ones. So I'll give him a break on that one.
All right, I'll check that one out. But the other ones after 2, though, there's no way.
Yeah, but here's the thing about Mike never saw Unbreakable, so that definitely hindered it, I think.
Oh, big time.
Yeah, and that's where I kind of leave where a lot of people were at. I feel like a lot of, but it sounds like your posse had seen both of them, so that is surprising to hear that majority actually didn't like it. But I'm really glad that you do. You loved it, because I felt in the minority among not only me and Mike, but people that I read on the internet. Like, a lot of people didn't like this movie. I'm right there with you. I'm glad you loved it.
Yeah, I think the time of the movie now is not where it's going to be popular, in the sense if the movie Signs, which was one of my favorite movies of all time. I don't know if you guys ever saw it. Same director. M. Night.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen it, but no, I've seen my share of M. Night. I got to check it out then.
Well, Mike, don't see it because you probably won't like it.
Oh, Jesus, Logan.
But it's like that storytelling that's just phenomenal, and I feel like that movie would have done even better 15 years ago, 10 years ago. Right now, it's everything's heavy CGI. I don't know. Movies now aren't as great, except for the Avengers. I don't know how you guys feel about those, but those are awesome.
Yeah, I love the Avengers. I can't wait for Endgame.
I'm pumped for Endgame. Pumped.
I can't wait. You talk serious about something on this podcast, you let me know, because that's when I want to talk again.
I think we need to have a Sittin Sportside
this is a
hangout day where we go to see Endgame.
That'd be cool. I mean,
I go the night of.
Dude.
I work in the schools. I'm a teacher.
Right, yeah.
And kids are talking. And I swear, I'll threaten to suspend them if they throw anything about this movie.
Where are you teaching now, Hogan?
Wait, Mike asked where you're teaching.
Huh? Oh, Kasaki.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Kasaki Acid.
And you coaching volleyball and stuff?
I coach JV boys basketball. I'll be coaching modified softball this year, too.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So
we should go harass him in the middle of the game one day.
We should, Mike. We should go to one of the games and bring some of the equipment, and we'll do a podcast after the game with Hogan.
Yeah, special interview.
Awesome.
Yeah, because this is our first ever movie discussion podcast, and I'm thinking right before we're going on, that promo we did. I don't know if you remember it for the stream. We did that about Split, and I was like, oh wait, Hogan obviously loved that movie too. We should try to get him on the podcast, and here you are.
That was a nice call. Split was good too.
Before we let you go, Hoagie.
Yes.
What's your thoughts on Robert Kraft's mishaps today?
I got to watch my words closely. I got to see all the evidence. It's weird, right? He's older. This is how I'm going to put it.
Ask him the hardest question, why don't you? Not hey, we haven't seen you in a while.
He's not going to get married again. I'm not saying prostitution's right. I'm not saying it's wrong.
Right.
But, he's Robert Kraft. They just won a Super Bowl. He's looking for love, probably in all the wrong places. But, let's give the guy a break,
Yeah, I mean, I was saying that, first off, due process, right? We did a whole podcast, we did a little bit about it earlier, and I was kind of like, well, we don't really have all the facts. Could probably, if they have good video, then, it might actually be him. But, he deserves some kind of punishment, I guess, because it's still against the law, but, it's not our business. Talk about Jim Irsay. That's a guy who was on drugs and he got suspended and fined. That, to me, that's a lot worse.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I think that's a lot worse. Same thing. You got to wait to see everything is out there, especially now. Today's world, you got to make sure everything's factually correct and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I will leave you off with this. For you Yankee fans.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I was going to say Mike gave you the hard question about, Robert Kraft and what he wants to do in his spare time. I was going to say, how does it feel to be the reigning World Series champions?
It feels amazing.
Hang up the phone!
I don't know if they're going to send one in the mail, or they want me to come collect it when all the Red Sox do, but that's going to be a great moment. But in all honesty, though, in the off season, I got to tell you, I like what the Yankees have done.
Yeah.
DJ LeMahieu was a very underrated signing that I absolutely love.
Yeah. I'm really happy about that, too. Mike wants to spend more money, like go out and like give Harper the contract, but I'm very content where the Yankees are at this point.
Yeah, no, just let the young kids, let these guys at their farm system do what they're going to do. CC's going to retire after this year. Go get another pitcher next year.
Mm-hmm.
You just got, I mean, people forget Paxton. That's one of the biggest off-season acquirements of the entire off-season. Like, that was huge.
The injury history mars it a lot to people, and he's not really well known, but I agree with you. Like, he's definitely an ace caliber pitcher for sure.
Yeah, in this market, if he pitches well, he's going to be an absolute stud.
And then to top it all off, I know you love talking about our Yankees here.
Oh, okay.
But top it all off, like, this is a 100-win team that didn't really lose anybody from that 100-win team.
Well, that's the thing, too, yeah. Like, I see Red Sox fans the same way. They're like, oh, you know, when they see signings and stuff, they need to make a move. Like, for example, like, we've got a couple Red Sox fans that want Craig Kimbrell back. Well, it's like, okay, with the luxury tax, you realize this $20 million that you're going to pay him, add another $20 million on top of that. Is the closer really worth that, or anybody at this moment? No.
Right.
Just won the World Series. Keep it where it is. Yankees, same thing. You lost Aaron Judge for a little bit of last season, too. Who knows how many more wins you have with him in the lineup? Just relax and ride this nice wave. Okay?
All right, let's.
I agree. You know, I was going to let Mike wrap it up, but Hogan, I just got to say, I really was enjoying talking to you for the first time since, like, I don't know, like 2 years almost.
I know. We got to catch up, guys.
We gotta go have a beer soon.
Got to have a beer and then have him on the podcast again when the Red Sox are in last place.
Oh, shots fired.
I will be available for a meetup for something.
Sounds good, Hogan. Thanks for hopping on at short notice.
All right, boys, no problem. Go Red Sox. Yankees suck.
Oh, get out of here, Hogan. Love you, buddy.
See ya. He got me back. He got me back.
It was good.
He got me back. Anything else to say, Mike?
No, it's been a fun day, Eric.
I'm glad Hogan had me back there about Glass. But I hope you guys enjoy this. Feedback at EricH1045, at MikeJays1045.
And Sportside tweets.
If you really want an Avengers podcast, definitely tweet at those there too.
Yeah,
we might do it anyway. Sounds like we got
that next
a perfect week. Already. The Endgames doesn't come out for a couple of weeks. We got Captain Marvel first. We got to have him back
soon.
And for Avengers podcast. Who knows? All right, Mike, wrap this thing up.
Stay classy.